going. Awesome. Wait, my microphone's in the wrong place. For now. Here. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna sit here for a minute and see if anything happens. But anyhow, hi, this is Sarah. I haven't streamed in quite a while. It's been at least a couple of months. I don't even actually remember the last time that I got my shit together enough to do this, but I figured I'd try and get back on the horse and do some public assembly of shapes. I've had an interesting summer so far. A lot has happened, and I kind of realized that I disappeared for a while and haven't been publishing as much content on YouTube, at least. I've been busy, you know, doing life stuff. It happens, I guess. I've printed 1 million parts, like, in the past 2 months, and I'm at that point where I'm ready to assemble them, a lot of them. And there's multiple things going on here at once. Noodle, I've mentioned, is getting a new body entirely. Like, every single part of him is getting reworked, I guess, because I have thoughts on pretty much every aspect of his form, how it could be improved. So I've been working on designing, printing, or fabricating all of his new bones. And I'm looking up here because he's like looking down at me. Hi, Noodle. And what else? Oh yeah, he's getting new feet. He's getting feet with actual mechanisms in them that will chuck onto his legs, like I've talked about in the past. To show you what I mean, if this is one of his feet, like the frame of one of his feet, and this is like what is left of his shin bone, like this would be his actual leg bone, this foot will actually chuck onto, oh god, sorry, this foot will actually chuck onto, there we go, the leg bone like that. So there's like a little quick release thing right here in the center with like a rail, and the feet will actually slide onto and click into place and stay on his feet like that. And all this will be replaced with metal in the future, but for now that's how his feet will be interchangeable so that he can do different stuff based on how he feels that day, just like us. The other thing that I'm preparing are a couple of duplicates of the Shibon modules, because at the end of the summer I'm going to be exhibiting them for the first time. So I started the Shibon project probably a little over a year ago in the spring of last year, and I've built up pretty much the bulk of the augments that I have kind of envisioned so far, and those are going on display, but there are a couple that I wanted to actually demo on my body. Well, the systems are on display, so that means I'm gonna need 2 of those systems, and one of them is the hickey choker that I made fairly recently, and the other is the propeller bra that reads the nipple diameter. So I'm making duplicates of both of those systems so that I don't know, I can walk around and be a freak in the wild bearing my freak fruit, if you will. And my personal deadline for building those up is next week before DefCon. I'm going to wear the systems at DefCon just to kind of do a dry run and see how it goes. I think it should be good. I don't know, we'll see. If anything doesn't work out, at least I'll be close to home and it won't be a big deal to fix anything or shed any of it off and then like dump it someplace so that I can be comfortable again, because I don't even really know how long I'll be able to wear these systems before they get really annoying. So we'll see. But I'm gonna check the chat because I've been talking for a good minute now. Oh, hi Kia! Yeah, I'll definitely buy Rocket Pops. That needs to happen. Like, it's Friday, it's kiddie pool night, so me and my friends get together and we, Mark was just out back refilling the kiddie pool with air, but we amassed over the past 3 years like a legitimate kiddie pool setup in the backyard where we have a water filtration system, a heater, a proper cover for it, and then we chlorinate the water in this thing. So it's like Oh, and we have a what's it called? A TV out there as well for watching movies, and a floating drink tray. So, like, a lot of engineering has gone into the Friday kiddie pool experience. So at some point, when I'm done with this stream, I'll be jumping in the pool, but I definitely need rocket pops. Anyhow, so today, without further ado, I think I named this stream... What the hell did I name this stream? I don't know. Pneumatic Syringe Sucker Assemblies. Okay, that is what I'm doing. As you... Oh, you can't see that because I haven't changed the camera down. There we go. That's better. Alright, I'm gonna move this now. Okay. I'm gonna be working right here, and I have all these shapes. I have motors. There's 8 of them, and these are really teeny tiny Metal Gear servo motors from Pololu that I used in my suck choker. I don't know if I should link a video or play a video of the suck choker for you so you have an idea what it is I'm creating. Probably not a bad idea. And happy Friday, James. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I agree, I comply. Touch the tips. I guess I could do that really quick. Alright, let me dig it up. Just for, what is it, posterity? Posterity. Pizza. Since this stream will be archived forever, I might as well give some context to the thing in which I am creating for all the people in the future who will watch this stream. Oh. I'm trying to, like, navigate my own website. There we go. And it would help if I... How do I full screen this? Can I full screen this? Maybe? Wow, look how nice and trim my hair is in this video. Okay. Wait. Shh. Stop talking, Sarah. Ah, one more switch. There we go. Okay. That would be this system. Except I'm gonna demo it right here. So this bank of syringes that's on my back at the moment, this is the part that I'm assembling during this stream. So there's all these individual moving parts. Each one of those is an individual assembly. I have to make 8 of them, and it's just a bunch of repetitive process. It's me putting a bunch of parts on other parts. I'm not making the backpack like it's featured in this video because my microphone's way over here again. It's not super comfortable for long periods of time. It is the way that it is for a reason, which I can talk about later, but for the sake of walking around like a conference or a festival and being comfortable-ish, I'm going to make it flexy with my body so that I'm not having to like distort my posture for like hours on end just to keep it on me. Alright. That's enough of that. Anyhow, back to what I was doing. So over the next month, after I get the Shibon stuff out of the way, I will be assembling... These bags are not... They're quick release bags, but then they only go that far, and then they catch. And then they break. I swear I'm not, like, bag challenged. Or maybe I am, I don't know. So after I do all the Shibon stuff, I'm going to be making duplicates, or assembling duplicates of Noodle's old feet modules, the tasting feet, so that while they're on display at the festival this year, people can they can look at one on display, but they can also pick up a smaller, more condensed analog version of the module and then actuate it with their hands. So there will be like no motor or electronic portion to it, but you will still be able to actuate the mechanism manually with like a crank or something that you actuate with your hand. So I'll be assembling all of those parts next. Because like, again, all I've been doing for the past couple months is just printing parts. And you can't see it, but like over here in the off-camera area, beyond my hands, there's just stacks of 3D printed pieces. Yay! If you could reduce the form factor of the pneumatics but using a different tech, I'm sure I could, but I don't know a whole lot of, I don't know, I haven't done a lot with pneumatic systems, I guess. I'll look into it eventually, but definitely for now, I have to stick with what I know works. Alright, so you know your servos come with like these bags of like extra peripherals? You know, the horns and the bits and babs. I think for this one I was modifying this guy right here to attach to my gears, and there's a nice little pile of these things right here. I believe the way this worked is there's these two holes on either side, and I think I drilled into one of these to widen it out, and then I trimmed off the excess. I just don't remember which one, but luckily I have the actual first revision of this system behind me, so I'm gonna go check that real quick. As if I could actually see it. That's okay, I can figure this out. I believe that is the first hole. Okay. Yeah, first hole. Gotta get the right hole, guys. Alright, so the first hole in closest to the center hub is the one that I'm reaming out, and I'm trimming the rest away with my nippers, wherever those may be. I don't know, after I'm done, the windows out there are open. I can actually turn the camera to the right and show you guys the kiddie pool, because it's literally like maybe 10 feet to my right now on the other side of the patio door. So how is everybody else? Like, I gave a intro of where I've been and what I've been up to and what I'm working towards. How has everybody else's summer been? Like, what projects have you been doing? Have you been going on any cool excursions anywhere? Are you surviving? Clinging to life? Like me. It's been a different year for, like, this year. I mean, they're not all supposed to be the same, I realize that, but this year's been, like, totally different than last year or the year before. Oh, and I need to drill this. Where's... I'll be right back. Come on, Mamo. Fun fact, when I moved back home from college, I didn't have access to, like, any type of shop equipment whatsoever, and I didn't know what a Dremel was, but on this, like, really fateful day, my dad, for whatever reason, he's like, well, what's holding you back from making all the stuff you want to make? And I'm like, well, I can't drill holes or like cut pieces of aluminum or anything. And he was like, well, why don't you get a Dremel? Those drill holes and they can cut things. And I was like, what the fuck's a Dremel? And he's like, it's like a multi-purpose spinning tool that you can like do stuff with your hands. And I went and I bought one of these things, this specific thing, and this was my entire shop for a good period of time. And my friend Matt, who will be here in another 6 hours. Wow, it's actually only noon. Damn. Well, when he's off work in here, he was actually my clamp, my human clamp. So all the metal pieces that I cut for like my first robots, he would hold them down to a piece of wood with his hands while I cut those pieces of metal with my Dremel. because that's what friends do. I don't advise doing that. Don't make your friends do that. I just didn't have clamps. I didn't have anything, so... And I didn't know any better. I mean, I did know better, but, you know, they're small cuts. And I'm, like, shooting sparks in his face. But I remember that era of my life very fondly. Alright, so I'm just gonna ream that hole out a little bit more so I can attach it to my hub. Super fast. Crazy. Oh, crazy busy preparing for Black Hat convention there in Las Vegas. Cool, Dano Webb, you're coming out for Black Hat. You're coming over to my neck of the woods. Yeah, I always go to DefCon because I'm already here. Like, I'm in Vegas right now, so all my friends are coming to me for the convention, so I just go down to wherever DefCon's at and then visit with my people and have a good time. Because everyone comes here for that. Like, everyone in our circle of influence comes for that. I'm sure you know that. It's like easy social doings. And the only time I get to see certain people. Kia, what games are you playing? I think I might have already asked you this, but it might have changed since the last time that came up. Hey, AP Tech. Hi. I know, a long time no see. I apologize for that. Kind of. It's been a while. Streaming's hard to get back into, like, a routine with. Like, those of you who also stream probably know that already. Then I realized they require pneumatics. Yes. Kia mentioned other pneumatic options might be too powerful and noisy. Yes, pneumatic stuff is usually big and bulky and ridiculous. It makes a cool sound, but the problem is that you get a lot more suction, and I don't want to, like, destroy my skin or anything. So the reason why this is so analog and basic is that the most suction I really want to apply to my actual flesh is something that would come from, like, a syringe anyway. Because, yeah, we were talking about potentially using, like, vacuum pump type things, like, back when I first started this augment, and I decided that I didn't want to fuck around with that, especially since I'm going to be wearing it and it's going to be used on me. I'm wondering if you could... Finished Xenoblade 2, moved on to Mario and Luigi, now Wasteland 2. I haven't played any of those. I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online. Anybody who has me added on Steam, which I know a bunch of people do, have probably seen that because it notifies you every time somebody, like, starts playing a game. That's been my guilty pleasure murder binge all summer. Playing Discord for a plan. A robot plan. What kind of robot plan? Robot plans are the most important plans, I think. Oh, hi Mr. Bong's Lab. Oh, how are you doing? It's good to be back. I have energy again. Wait, I need, this first one's gonna go slow because I'm kind of trying to remember what hardware I used for all this stuff. I had a... I think those are these. Okay. It wasn't terribly long ago that I was building these, so I kind of vaguely remember what parts I used. Kind of. And it looks like the 6mm hardware is what I used for these. No, actually it wasn't. I take that back. Because I know I put... It doesn't look like there's a lot of room, but I did actually put a nut on the other side of this to help hold it on, as you should do. See, back when I was in college, the first professor I ever had in the first, like, mechanical fabrication class I ever had, preached to all of us that we should never use adhesive or, basically never design something so that you can't take it apart entirely again. So he was a big advocate of not using adhesives or glues to make connections when you could just as easily use hardware, because he embedded in our minds that you will take everything apart eventually, or want to, and I think that was good advice. So these weren't, what is this? Are they the 8s? Do I have 8s? I do. I do have 8s. Alright. I do. So one of the things we do on Kiddie Pool Friday is we have this big whiteboard in the kitchen, and there's 4 of us that participate in the Kiddie Pool Friday, and on this whiteboard we have lists of double features that we personally curate, and each week it's somebody's turn to pick a double feature from their list, and then we watch those 2 movies in the pool on the TV that we have out there. So we actually have a TV that is dedicated entirely for outdoor viewing of movies until late at night. And we roll every week to determine who's going to pick from their list. Okay, to show you what I just did. So there's hardware, the servo horn that I modified, and then the gear that's going to attach to the tiny servo right here. So that's, I guess, technically my pinion, because this is a rack and pinion system. This gear pinion is going to be driving one of these racks right here that's going to be mounted to the syringe plunger. So that's what the motor is going to be driving. I guess I should have said that earlier and I did not. I apologize. I'm trying to separate these systems out because they're mirrored from one another. So like on one side I have like the left version of everything for the left shoulder blade, and on this side of the table I have all of the right shoulder blade pieces. So I'm trying really hard not to get them mixed up because they are different for the sake of, you know, what is it, bilateral symmetry? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I know you do. Alright, so I'm gonna do all of these first and then I'll connect them to the motors. So I'm gonna line these all up like little dead mice, like down here at the bottom, as long as they don't get in my way. And I'm just gonna get scissors to open these so you don't have to watch me struggle through opening like these resealable bags that are psych not resealable. Like they totally used a bag sealer on these. Or you know what, screw it. I have to get my aggression out somewhere. Just tear through them like a fucking savage. Mark? Oh. Nothing! I guess I can get these out of here. One of the things that we have in our lab is a box that's filled with all of these extra horn pieces. These. Because we made this art installation that has, I want to say, like upwards of 300 servo motors in it, and we have 300 baggies of unused servo parts somewhere. They're everywhere. It's a plague. Oh god. It's good to have a break once in a while to let your creative build up between projects. I agree. I needed a break. It's like, I don't know. The energy just wasn't there, I guess. I didn't have the same, like, social motivation that I normally do, and you can't really force that, I don't think. I mean, you can, it just doesn't feel good. Forcing anything isn't good, I don't believe. Cry at everything. Wait, Kia says he would cry at everything you've ever made. I found it pretty sweet. I'm assuming you mean Mark. Emily, how you doing? I'm happy that you're here. Happy Friday. How are you doing? I hot glue everything because I'm terribly slapdash. That's a fun word. Hot glue is great. I mean, I'll be honest, like, given the type of thing I'm working on, I am definitely a hot glue fiend, but it's like one or the other. I'm either 100% hardware and like mechanical connections, and it's all like parts fused to other parts with screws, or it's like a amalgam of adhesives and duct tape and stuff. And it's like, they're like two different genres of project, and I do both. Like when I make masks and stuff, like the more organic things, I am definitely not a hardware person. I'm a whatever I can like tack and gum to my masks to get them to look and work the way that I want. Hot glue is technically non-permanent, so you're right, Kia. Unless I have to, it's always handy to keep stuff modular for fun updates and repairs. Hot glue, yeah, I agree. Hot glue is kind of a good, I use it for like, when I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing yet, it's a good like, maybe be hackers. It's funny that you say hackers, Kia. That's actually on, it's either Mark or Matt's list. They have Sneakers and Hackers as like the two movies for a double feature, so like we will be watching those at some point this summer. I get the round middle. Cool. Mine would be science fiction. It's funny that you say that. Like each one of us like kind of dominate a certain genre of movies. Mark is definitely the sci-fi guy. My friend Matt, the one who held down the metal parts, will like cut them and shot sparks into his face. He's a horror guy, but like old school cheesy horror. My friend Tony, Noodle's shape daddy, my butt technician, he's kind of the action movie guy, I guess. Like we watched Expendables 1 and 2 last time it was his night, and I don't know, like I'm weird. Like I do different things. Like I'm thinking if I get picked tonight, I might do like a double feature of Bond movies, just because I'm kind of feeling that right now. But old Bond movies, the ones that I haven't seen. Either that, or I was gonna do a double feature of Moulin Rouge and Euro Trip, because those are movies from when I was in high school, and I love them. It's just film crew from Nova on campus, right? Cool. Oh, that's exciting. Writing for Nova is amazing. That is so cool. It's like one of the, I don't watch a lot of TV, but there was an era in my life where that was literally the only thing that I watched. The person that I lived with was really into it, and I don't think I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for them. But yeah, for like a year, I think I binge watched every single Nova and then Nova offshoot that existed. But yeah, my fingers are crossed for you. Let me know, like, if that turns into a cool, exciting life venture. Hackers. But yeah, we this spring, I'm gonna dip my nose back down into the work for a second. Not ignoring. Oh god. Mark's back. Mark, say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody.
My this spring, I keep bringing the guy up because I'm a huge advocate for him not going into actual retirement. But Shudder had Joe Bob Briggs doing a weekly stream of horror movie double features, and it was like the thing that defined spring for us. Where did I put this? We enjoyed the crap out of his his Friday last drive-in stream. And if you like or don't like horror movies, it kind of doesn't matter, because I don't know, he brings a completely different dimension to the table in like discussing why they're relevant, what influenced what actors are in them, and what other movies they were featured in, and blah 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 blah. And anytime you learn the history of something, I think it helps you appreciate it more. So I'm personally not a huge fan of horror, especially like old 80s like titty booby horror, but he kind of made me change my mind, which I think is a very special power if you've got it to change a person's mind. He's definitely doing another season. I don't know when it's going to premiere, but Shudder is, how much is Shudder a month?
$5 or $6.
I think it's like $5.
Yeah.
Like, even if that's the only thing you watch on Fridays, it's worth the $5, I think, in my humble opinion. But that's definitely something that we're going to be doing again once it gets too cold for the kiddie pool. Which, believe it or not, we only get about 3 solid months of kiddie pool weather here in Las Vegas. There is a point, and it's a very touchy point, where it does in fact get, even though it's still sweltering hot, it's not hot enough at night to comfortably get into a body of water. And we've had a very cool summer here so far, and many of the nights we got in the kiddie pool, it was still in that like range of too fucking cold to get in the water, but we did it anyway because we want our kitty. And by the second movie, we were all shivering and wanting to get out, even though it was still probably 100 out, or 95 or 90, I don't know. Like, it needs to be a good solid 100 and like almost close to 110 degree day out in order for it to stay warm enough into the night for us to stay in the water until midnight or so, we've found. And it's only gotten to that point probably last week, which is the end of July, and that is really weird for for Vegas. The Thing and then The Thing prequel. I think that's on Matt's list, actually. And AP Tech, yes, I love Euro Trip 2. That's, like, one of my favorite movies from a time. Everyone says, oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, everybody.
He says, oh, hi, everybody. Ooh, the Italian job. Yes. Yes. Mark, is the Italian job on your list? Or was that on mine?
That might be on Matt's or yours.
It is on
a list.
It's on a list. I think Lucky Number 7 is on my list. The Italian Job. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. I've never seen it, actually. Like, it's on my list of movies that Sarah ought to see. Where do I... Okay. Man. I'm gonna be opening all of these up to put those little rubber bumper feet on them. Don't forget to do that. Do you guys use these? Like when you use servos? These little like rubber, like, I'm guessing they're like shock feet things. They go like on the tabs of the servo motor. I know some people do and some people don't. I guess they remove the wag, the shake, probably. Mark, are you eating more buns?
Yes, these are the best banana muffins ever.
Mark made from scratch banana nut muffins last night. So I came home from Shape Daddy's place making Noodle's femur bones, and Mark was in the kitchen baking delicious smelling confections, which we're totally going to eat tonight. I'm gonna eat them. Matt will probably eat them too. Mark,
What?
can you do something for me?
As usual.
Oh, will you ever so kindly grab my Amazon shipment?
The box? Oh, go over there?
Yeah.
I guess. I'm gonna go do errands soon, so.
Oh, what are you gonna get? What are we eating tonight?
Whatever you're eating, I have to go buy it.
Are we doing Loco Moco again?
Yeah, so I gotta get hamburger.
Okay.
We already have eggs, rice. We have some gravy left.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get those items.
Food items. I had Loco Moco for the first time this week. Do you guys know what Loco Moco is? I'm sure you do. You've got to. Ah. There we go. Loco Moco. It's like a Hawaiian thing, right, Mark?
That is a Hawaiian, like one of those, what do they call it? Comfort foods?
Yeah.
You can get it in a lot of roadside places in Hawaii. Very good.
Loco Moco. It is a tasty thing. Actually, before I need to dig these feet out. I use the feet on this project. The rubber bumpers. The rubber baby servo bumpers. And I think I'm actually using these hub screws too, so all of these bags are gonna get reopened. Whatever. Do I want to put them on now? I guess I could. I might as well. I'm not sure if no, I'm gonna wait on that, because I don't know if order of operations wise I'm supposed to put the gear on the hub of the motor later in the game. I don't remember. It's been just long enough that I don't remember how I did these. Because I think I built the suck choker thing in like May. So it's been 2 months since I built the first version of this thing. The sucker. The fun part about this, and I'm like secretly kind of excited. It means I'm a weirdo that I'm excited about this, but like one of the events that you go to. What? Oh, okay. No, they're in there. Okay. One of the events that you go to or can go to at the ARS Electronica festival is the gala where they give away awards to artists and stuff, and it's a gala, so everyone dresses up like in dresses or something kind of nice, and it's casual. It's not like a formal gown sort of event, although you can, if you want to, like dress up in a gown, I guess, or a suit. But I always wear something nice, and I plan it. So part of my summer ritual is to find what I'm gonna wear to the ARS Gala. And I have a dress picked out for this year, which is like optic yellow, my favorite color. And I'm gonna have hickeys on my neck when I go. Artificial hickeys. Probably from wearing this thing and demoing it during the day. And I'm happy with the idea of this. Like, I can't wait for that to be my fate, which sounds nuts, but it's one of those weird things that titillates my, whatever gland. My raptor gland. And I'll have artificial hickeys at DefCon too, I guess. They're really tiny, though. They don't look like human hickeys. I'll probably just look like I have some sort of Dalmatian disease or something. They're like tiny little dots, like little round, perfectly round, like bruise dot shapes. Oh, take care, AP Tech. It's good to see you. I'm happy to catch up with everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Loco Moco. Yeah, it's a Oh, Capitone. Have a good rest of your Friday. Thanks for stopping in. Sorry, I'm catching up in the chat. But yeah, Loco Moco's good. It's like, it's hamburger. I never explained what it is, I'm sorry. It's like a... kind of like beef tartare. It's a hamburger patty on top of rice with, an egg.
Tartare?
And,
It's a fried hamburger with egg over rice with gravy.
yeah, it's gravy.
It's not tartare, it's cooked meat.
Well, like the beef with the egg, like usually like a beef tartare has like...
The eggs raw in the tartare, so it's cooked tartare.
Okay, it's a cooked tartare.
With rice.
It's a cooked beef tartare with
It's like a Hawaiian poutine, really.
It's a Hawaiian poutine or a cooked tartare. It's good. I endorse that food.
Starch and protein.
We could do poutine. What would you rather have?
I'm gonna do the Loco Moco.
Okay. More protein to that anyway. Dakshitapu. Oh man. Okay. I'm sorry, this is not incredibly exciting. But this is how it's gonna be for a minute. At least for this month. I've got a lot of really kind of sort of not terribly exciting things that I have to get done, but they're things that are appropriate for hanging out and catching up like we are doing right now. So it's kind of like the perfect list of tasks for chatting. Because I decided this, like I really don't like talking to anybody. That's not the right screw. While I'm doing CAD. Especially if I'm doing something like kind of hard, where I don't really know like what I'm doing. I'm just kind of getting like designed and figured out along the way. I don't like having any sort of disruptions while I'm doing like Fusion 360, not even music. Like when I do CAD during the day, I sit in complete silence like a weirdo, and I just bang my face over it until I get my shit designed. It's this weird solitude ritual thing. I'm actually gonna move the screen over here so it's closer to where my face is. Hi Vigray! Hi Aussie Welsh! Hi! Hi. Welcome to Friday. How's your Friday going so far? Is it good? Why is this not lining up? Oh my god, the lighting is so bad. No, I made it worse. No, even worse yet. Okay. Aww. I'm happy to catch up with everybody. Noodle says hi too, by the way. He's like, you can't see him, but he's perched over me. I mentioned this on Twitter, but like Noodle's going on so I'm making a new body for Noodle. His old body isn't getting disassembled, it's actually going on tour as an art piece. So it's like I'm sending his child husk, like his cicada shell, out to be examined by people, which feels kind of weird to do. But Noodle proper, what I'm going to start referring to is Noodle Prime, like the main Noodle baby. He's staying with mommy so he can learn how to walk, as per usual. He'll continue his, like, learning like a good noodle. Bags everywhere. Bradley! Hi! Hi! Friday is prototype poke day. I'm gonna poke you back. Like, poke. How are you doing? How goes the, I think you mentioned you were moving, or getting ready to move. How is all the stuff? How's the doing? How are projects? Same thing with you, Vi. I know I just asked you this, like, privately. How goes the development? Doing some Discord and then work and then heading to... Oh, cool. Tell them I say hi, Vi. The toy makers. I don't think I've chatted with them in a good minute. Will they be at DefCon this year, or are they skipping a year? I don't even know. I can't help myself but to go. Friday was good. It ended the work week. Now on to an early Saturday morning and loving the weekend. How's everything with you guys? Everything's good here. It's starting to get kind of busy. This month's gonna be all assembly. Like, all assembly. Like, I've been printing parts for the past 2 months for like 3 separate projects that are all being exhibited this fall in like various places. So I'm to the point where I have to take all of the parts and like push them together into working shapes. And that's what my life is going to consist of for a while now. I feel like this microphone should be in front of me. That seems like a smart thing to do, right? How about right here? Does this sound better? Probably sounds better. Yeah? It's in front of me, not behind me, if I'm looking at the computer. We need clothes on the house a week from today. Sweet. Cool. Cool. Everyone's skipping DefCon? That's a bummer. A time in Germany where I'm awake. Oh, I wish I was in Germany. Want to be in Berlin right now. It's doing the badges this year instead of them, so they don't have as much requirement to show up this year as they did last year. I mean, that makes sense. DefCon, I would definitely understand taking a break from. It's overwhelming. Like, I only really go to visit with friends. I don't go to do DefCon stuff at DefCon anymore. Not that I ever really did. DefCon's where I go to do performance art. And be generally disruptive. Noodle says, you're going to DefCon to do NoodleCon, mommy. Don't forget that. Oh, I'm poor and in the wrong country too. I feel ya. So Mark picked the movies last week, so I think it's between the rest of us, the other 3. So it's gonna be probably a horror double feature, an action double feature, or whatever I decide on, which I don't know. I'm a wild card as of yet. How's the pool water clarity looking, Mark? Are you even in here? I can't see. Nope, he's not. I guess we will find out. Oh man. I think I will have to... Oh, Mark! Ah! I'm looking up all weird because there's this giant... There's like... The pool TV is on the edge of the work table right now, and it's like a wall, preventing me from seeing the other half of the room. Mark! Is he still here? He might not be here. Water situations? Wait, what? Ha! Frank, yes, I will be at the ARS Electronica festival in Austria this year. I'm bringing, like, a lot of stuff there. Noodle will have an exhibit with all of his appendages, and Shiban will be there as well. So both of my major projects I've been working on within the past few years will be on display there this year, which I'm super excited about. But I've never exhibited two things there before at once, and it's work that's done, but I still want to, like, I don't know. There's something wrong with me. Like, I'm always finding more additional work to do to make it even better, because I don't know. I have a disease. But I'll definitely be there. That's like my favorite event of the year. Vi, why are you afraid of water? Water's like, if you live here, hypothetically one day, water is a super necessity to not hating life. And not just drinking it, like getting in a pool in the summer is probably one of the few pleasures Vegas desert dwellers have to look forward to on those arid 120-degree days when you want to, like, hide forever. Put my hand down in something gross, then realized it was Jell-O. Ooh, Kia, you put your hand in Jell-O? Noodle says he has a similar experience. I'm actually gonna look this up now, because Kia said he put his hand in Jell-O. History, I think this was from Wednesday? I just was looking at it. Yes. Here. No, stop. Should I just drop the link in the... Yeah, I should probably do that. You guys can watch this on your own. There. It has to do with Jell-O. If you guys click on that link. It's one of the old Tasting Channel videos. Kinda. Has to do with what I'm working on right now. Returning to the Netherlands this year. That I know of, I'm not returning to the Netherlands this year. I have nothing planned, at least, as of yet. Noodle will be there, I think, however, potentially. Part of the tour that he's going on involves a little bit of travel, but I'm not entirely sure exactly where to yet. I would think that that would be one of the countries included for the exhibition, but I don't know. I'll find out soon, though. And I'll post about it once I find out. Well, for at least me and Lynn's, I know that. In a month. Wow. You can recognize Jell-O through your feet? Noodle says that it is an important skill to be able to catalog things with your feet. He says that it's okay you can't taste. He says that feeling things is a good start. Oh god. Oh, you wouldn't die if you visited Vegas. Noodle will be happy to see you. WMSF? And Kia, you'll be fine. If you came to Vegas, it would be... Depending on when you came, it's usually really nice here. It's just, like, the 3 summer months out of the year, it tends to get real hot. So long as it wasn't a summer month, you'd most definitely survive. I mean, honestly, even if you came in the summer like everyone does for, like, DefCon, you're inside most of the time, and the AC is cranked in all locations, so if anything, like, you end up bringing a sweater with you everywhere because it's freezing. The only time you have to worry about it is when you're getting out of a car or something and walking across a parking lot, or going back to a car because they turn into ovens. Oh god. If I don't get rain every few days, I shrivel up. Ah, you'd be fine. It's dry. I mean, it's not, like, humid, at least. I actually really like the heat here. Feels good. I like kind of being sticky tacky with sweat, which sounds gross, but it's kind of my preferred state. Oh, that's not how that goes. Shit. Plenty of this forest to hike on. Vi, I would love that. Like, you have no idea how much I'm craving nature. Hiking, camping. Camping sounds really nice. Noodle. He says I'm sending him away. He's concerned about that. I ordered Noodle his first road case this week. He's never had, like, a legitimate road case, one that would involve me not taking him apart to put him back together at his destination. I got him one where I do not have to actually disassemble him. He just stays in one piece and comes with instructions for the person who is receiving him, which is not going to be me, and then he can be set up like a good baby. Oh god. What? Your car turned into a parking lot? What do you mean? State of stickiness. A general state of stickiness. See, it hit nearly 80 degrees last week. Ouch. You don't have AC? I guess people in other places, it's not a requirement, right? I was in Vegas every other weekend for 3 years. My parents were smart enough to not leave me home alone. Ha. For a place that's filled with whatever we've got here, it's kind of difficult to get into trouble in this city. Where did I put the other? I didn't open it yet. Okay. I know, right? It is nice to be able to travel without having to dismember yourself or have your parent dismember you. I always feel really like every year when I go to, like, I'll say ARS Electronica. I go every year and I have to, like, tuck Noodle in pieces around my panties, or rather put my panties around all of his pieces and my clothes and all of my, like, accoutrements, because I bring them in my luggage because it's just cheaper and easier to do it that way. But I always feel really bad because I'm, like, having to pull or unearth, like, parts of my child out of my clothes once I get there, and then, like, assess everything to make sure it got there in one piece. Well, not in one piece, but in a not broken multiple piece form. And I won't have to do that anymore, which is good. That makes me happy. Noodle says he doesn't like any of this. He says it all sounds bad. Mid to upper 80s for last week or so, so I'm happy. Got kicked out of slots for fun? Slots of fun. That sounds super 90s. Slots of fun. It's getting hotter over there too. Yeah, there's less AC in Europe, but it's been warm there in the summer, if I remember correctly. pretty warm. Like every time I've been there in the summer, it's punishing, and there's fewer places to go to cool down. I remember the first year I ever did the ARS festival in Austria, it was really hot, the week of September that we were there, and I packed for like a cool autumny, I don't know, I did not pack for heat, let's just put it that way. And I got there and I had all these long sleeve tops and light sweaters and pants, and I ended up having to wear those things because that was my nice clothes and I needed to look nice. And I held that up for the first 3 days of this summit that I was participating in, and then on the last day I was like, fuck it, and I wore just like a t-shirt, and I don't know what I wore on my legs, but it was not pants, and I didn't care because it was swelteringly hot, and there was not AC. And it was kind of humid, if I remember correctly. And then the last 2 years, it kind of rained. And I packed clothes for summer. So I've kind of been like quasi, not so ideally prepared for their weather every year. Last year I was good, I brought a variety of everything. The year before that I had a lot of stuff too. A lot of different clothes, that is. 2 years ago I was there for like 2 weeks. 3 weeks, something like that. It was like a long period of time. So I got to explore. And I had like the whole gamut of weather while I was there. I think when I got there it was still hot, and then it transitioned from summer to fall, and then it rained like every day. Which I enjoy, because we do not get a lot of rain here. This month is actually Las Vegas's monsoon season, so we will get a bunch of thunderstorms, and it will be really fun and great, and I'll enjoy the crap out of them. But then it will be gone, and we won't get any weather pretty much for the rest of the year until next August, because that's how Vegas works. Airflow is super important, I agree. Is it still next to Circus? Fuck. Circus is the 90s. That's like quintessential Vegas 90s property. They still have their theme park, I think. Like, they're one of the few properties that still has a theme park, which was a really big thing here in Las Vegas in the 90s. Like, for whatever reason, Vegas went through this family-friendly phase where they tried to appeal to families with kids and say, yeah, this is where adults can go and do all their adult freaky shit, but you can bring your kid too, and you can dump them off at one of these big, lavish arcades, and they can spend money too. So all of the big properties had these really, really nice arcades that I remember from my childhood, and a couple of them actually installed theme parks on their property that had rides and stuff, and Circus was one of them. And since the 90s, all of these things have, of course, kind of dried up from the city because it's very much embraced its Sin City, this is an adult place for doing freaky shit, roots. And kids don't really have a place here anymore, but the one property that still has its theme park is the Circus, and it has not changed a whole lot from the 90s, if I recall. It's still just as seedy and stanky as it was back when I was a kid. A wee Babis. Mark, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh. I can't see you. Noodle says, you're on the other side of a partition. He says, but mommy's over here now too, so it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, Kia thunderstorms, I agree, are the best. We just had a big one this week. Like, it was non-stop thunder for like a good hour, and we got rain, but then it passed super fast, which was disappointing. Alright, last one, and then I can move on to the next step. Mark. Yes, my liege. My print should be done at 5 o'clock. It was an 18-hour print. It was a bunch of big pieces, which I try to run overnight, but this one was the whole night and then until 5 o'clock today, which is nuts. But I still have a couple of the larger, bulkier pieces for these assemblies to produce yet. But this tiny shit can, like, at least get put together in the meantime. And it doesn't seem like much, but this stuff does actually account for quite a sizable chunk of time. Because it's very repetitive. Warning me about... Oh god, tornadoes. Wait, thunderstorms, not tornadoes, I'm sorry. But that would suck. I'd be really disappointed if I got a text message warning me about a thunderstorm that didn't happen. I'd be excited. Thunderstorms are the best. It's when you make a cocktail and just sort of sit in the silent dark and listen to it. Man. Oh. When you don't see the tool that's right in front of you. Did I see the post of the... No, I did not see that. If you link me to it, I will check it out. Was it on Twitter? I've been bad. I haven't been on social media as much lately either. It's weird, like earlier this year, like at the beginning of the summer, I had to give my laptop up to have it repaired. And it was only supposed to take a couple of days, but they ended up having it for like 2 weeks. So in this 2-week period, I didn't have access to any of my usual social media stuff. And I don't like really using my phone for that. I know everybody else in the entire world does, but like I don't do posts from my phone or check emails from my phone. Like I hate it. So I kind of just, by force, got some distance from the internet, I guess. And it was kind of nice. So, I don't know, like I've been kind of backing away from all of that just a little bit to remember what it feels like to kind of just have the privacy of my own space. I don't know. It definitely altered the tone of my overall existence, if that makes any sense. Ugh. Okay, so the gears and the hubs to the motors have been coupled. And there are 8 of these bad boys now. I can't even tell if this is in focus. Seems like it's in focus. Video settings. I have like a new... It looks like everything's on. Oh, webcam control. No, I turned that off. Okay, that's bad. This is good. Okay. Did I make it better or worse? That looks a little better. I have like a new camera controller. That was one of the results of me getting my laptop back. Is I got a new laptop and it didn't have anything on it, so I had to do a complete reinstall of all my applications, and one of the ones I lost was my old camera controller for streaming, so that was kind of a deterrent too. Yeah, it's been fun. Alright, thanks for the feedback on the camera focus. With that, time for the next step. I'm going to, okay, so there are these other piles of parts on the bench. There are these long pieces, and then there are these weird pieces with a hole in them right there. This is the brace where the motor is going to be mounted, and then this part couples onto on the back side of this, or on the front side. No, it's like this. So these two pieces join together where these two holes are. One of them has the rail for the rack. That's this thing right here. The rack slides on that rail. And then the motor is mounted in this gap right here. And the two things are this piece is responsible for holding the motor in the right location relative to where the rack is supposed to sit. And then on the back side, this rounded part is where the syringe sits and is captured. I don't know how far I'm gonna get with the syringe bit, because Mark needs to pick them up from the place where we get our Amazons. Yeah? Oh god. But I think I can at least start attaching motors to these bracket parts, which isn't exciting either, but it needs to get done. And then the next step is to attach these to these and then slide the syringe in place. And then I've got myself a bunch of complete rack and pinion, pneumatic assemblies with syringe, which is the goal of today. And there's 8 total again. Phones are for porn and texting people? You watch porn on your phone? Kia? I don't even do that. I'm kidding. Not about me looking at porn on my phone, but that's normal. I'm sure everyone else I know looks at porn on their phone, right, Mark?
No.
Oh.
I wait till I get home and use the 50-inch TV.
That's right. Mark says he uses the 50-inch TV. About like another I want another thunderstorm right now. I was kind of hoping that we would have one today for kiddie pool night, because I think one day last year on a Friday we had a nice thunderstorm while we were in the kiddie pool, and it was incredibly relaxing to just like get in the water and just sit there and listen to the rumbles and then the rain just sort of gently hitting the pavement and like smell that. We have the best rain smell here in the desert, I'm convinced. It has this like really great dirt smell that I like. I'm quite partial to. Mark hates it, I think, but he's a weirdo, so.
What?
You said you don't like the smell of rain.
Yeah, it choked my throat up.
It's because you're a weirdo. I don't know if you posted the link correctly. I don't know. Can you post links in here? I don't even know if the one I posted went through. Excuse me. Whew. Oh god. Speaking of things going up your nose, Mark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious if everyone else I know looks at porn on their phone. I think everyone I know legitimately waits until they get home to watch porn on like a larger TV. Pretty sure. But that's just...
Let's go over to Matt's house and shit.
Yeah. Let's go crash Matt's.
Get the door in.
Matt, are you looking at porn on your phone?
Right now.
Fuck off, Sarah. Okay, I gotta reference my... Okay. It appears to me that these things mount onto their, like this. So that is the proper mounting position for the motor relative to the shape, I guess. Are these long enough? No. Okay. Do we've got 10s? These look like 10s. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe 12s. We've got 12s too. We can do 12s. 12 looks good. Okay. 12mm hardware for these bad boys, and this should go a lot faster. So I am going to stuff a bunch of these with their proper hardware, and then I will apply the nuts in one fell swoop. There's our washers. Noodle says, why is mommy making him another sucking apparatus? Because of this whole like suction choker thing, I'm definitely going to make a foot for Noodle that can suck. So he'll have like one suction cup in his foot, and he'll be able to like kiss things. So he'll put his foot down on something, a surface, and then he will like give it a suction smooch. It might even be wet. Right, Mark?
Yeah. I'm in.
You are not allowed to utilize this feature while I'm not home, Mark.
Noodle?
Yes.
Hey, he's rolling here.
Noodle says he doesn't care. He says you are not allowed to use his kissing foot for your own gain, Mark. Says that's not nice. I guess his new brain design's gotta wait until after ARS. Meh. If I didn't create extra, like, tasks for myself, I could be working on other things right now. But I am nothing if not neurotic as fuck. Oh shit. I screwed up something. Okay, so those need to couple first. Good thing I caught that now. That would have been awkward. Okay, so that is also 12. Okay. Alright, I knew I was gonna screw some of this up at some point. That's okay. Not a big deal. I only did it to one. Liquid lipstick and the little roller mechanism. I think that's probably needed too. What color lipstick would Noodle wear? Oh, Kia. Almost called you Oliver. Kia. I mean, if Noodle were to leave you a nice, like, kiss lip mark, what color would that lip mark be? I'm thinking just red, I guess, since he's got red toes. Mark.
What?
What color lipstick would Noodle wear on his feet?
I don't know.
It's important.
Red.
Yes.
Definitely red.
Like iridescent red?
Yeah, like a hot candy red.
Or a shiny, like, matte red? Or a wet-looking red? To suction to walls? Yes. Oh, thank you! Joe Blow says they appreciated my SuperCon presentation. Thank you. I'm happy that you appreciate and enjoyed it. Thank you for telling me. I need to apply for this year still. Like, I just saw the tweet that says that there's 2 weeks left before the deadline, and I'm like, fuck. I gotta get my proposal in. I'm slow this year. The motivation is, like, lower for some reason. Niku Man, he says you had the same idea for lipstick. Or that was your idea. Everyone's seconding your idea. The lipstick idea is great. Red is the classic choice. Bright beetle green? I mean, he could have multiple different, like, colors, I guess. Noodle, you get all the lipstick. Noodle can... Aww, James Bond style kiss marks on your collar. Or your lap. He'll put, like, lipstick stains on your pants, like, on your lap. Because realistically, I'm thinking, like, what parts of your body would Noodle actually make contact with? And he sits in a lot of laps, but not really a lot of, like, faces yet, or shoulders, or anything like that. But, he could definitely stain up a lap real bad with his feet, particularly mine. I'll work on that when I get home. I have new goals. Okay, so these pieces actually need to mount onto their respective mate first, it looks like, because this nut is supposed to be inset within this piece already, or the screw is supposed to be inset within this piece before the motor mounts on top of it, because it's going to, like, cover it up. So that has to precede the doing. I don't know, how does this... This is the proper mounting orientation for these parts. I mean, I could just look this up in CAD, but that's no fun. Those are too big. Only if he likes you. Noodle. Noodle says he needs his eyes back. We went through all this trouble teaching him how to recognize faces, and then as soon as he got home from being on exhibit, I yanked that part out of his head. So he had this nice Raspberry Pi module that had all this fun TensorFlow stuff, and then that went away. Because I thought I would be doing more development with it right away, but we were really burnt out, and that didn't end up happening, so he just sort of got, like, robbed of a feature. It was sort of like taking his relative consciousness away from him, because it was, like, the part of him that was capable of, like, reasoning and making decisions on his own And we were like, no, you don't get to have this. So he can't decide things anymore, and I feel bad. I think the goal, like after I do the next revision of his brain, is to have it so that both of those things, like he'll have his like TensorFlow brain, and then his motor controlled brain, like all the lobes, all of the lobes will be inside his head, always active at the same time, which seems like a pretty obvious thing, and he should be doing that now, but that's totally never been the case. His head has always been loaded with whatever is currently in question being developed, worked on, whatever, and then once that isn't the focus of my R&D, it gets switched out, which was never how it was meant to be, but that's how it's practically kind of had to be. I think like with this new body that he's getting, I really want to have him be in like a solid state with everything, like all of his features in him all at once, all the time, and then I also want him to be rechargeable, because right now he doesn't have his own like food supplies. Like he was always supposed to have power cells in his feet that he could like recharge on like a platform or something, or even just plug in with a cord. But like he shouldn't have to be tethered to a wall, because that's no fun. He needs to have some robot independence. Am I missing a part? I better not be missing a part. Is it in the other pile somehow? No. Weird. Great. I will look for it. Hopefully it turns up. I'm missing one of these. And it's not in my hand. Shit. Okay. Whatever. Moving on. I don't see it. I mean, it could be under any one of these piles of bags that are now clogging up my desktop. Kind of my Kia, sort of my loose goal for Noodle is to have him decide how to behave on his own without really as little like prompt from me as possible. It's just a long time coming for all of that to like work. Yes, Noodle will always love me no matter what, because I'm Mom. I hope. I say that now, but I know my mom also said that at some point in time too. A little bed and like wireless rechargeable pad, and he would go to bed to recharge. That is a really fun, cute idea. We've talked about something kind of like that, like a recharge pad that he just stands onto and goes into like ball mode, but it can just as easily make it look like a little like noodle nest. It can like just be lint and soft things and like yellow blankets, and he can perch there when he needs to refuel himself for the next day. Because like ideally, like I would like, once he can walk well, I would like to just set him loose in the yard to go stomp around and make a mess. And I want to put a camera out there that allows me to monitor what he's doing, so if he does actually in fact fall over or gets stuck or something happens to him, I can go out and like pick him up, put a band-aid on his skinned knee, and then pat him on the butt and tell him to keep going, and he can just sort of explore and make friends with the birds. Are you going?
I'm going. That's it.
Will you get Rocket Pops?
Rocket. Yeah, I'll look for Rocket Pops. Alright.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Love you.
Ah. Ah. Noodle's got, he used to have a good beeper. This is kind of sad, like right before he went on display at ARS last year, and that was his big year, like he was like a big kid art exhibit last year. I was super excited to, you know, present what I had been working on for him, but right before we left, actually, I don't know, like when we got there to like install him, his beeper went missing, and it was gone. Like it's like a little, kind of like a tumor that hangs off of his brain, so it doesn't even have a proper mounting point, but it probably got ripped off and lost in like a void somewhere, because I ripped everything apart trying to find it and it was nowhere to be found, and I've never replaced it since. So as of right now, Noodle, he does have a beeper, but it's one of those really tiny, really, really small piezo surface mount beepers that Mark like kind of like ghetto rigged with some wire coming off of the back pads. And it's like the most soft, polite, like chirp beep now, and that's all he's got. Because I never found like a nice loud, like big beeper gland to replace it with. So he has, it's still hanging off of him, it's still in the same relative location, it's just this little tiny square black package, and it chirps. So Noodle's got kind of a beep boo voice right now. I've thought about doing that. Kia suggested using voice recognition. Like, I played around with that, I want to say like 4 years ago, when like the year Noodle was born. We had this like SDK to play with, I don't know if it was Amazon's service that they had, or if it was Google's service thing that they had, but they gave away at what was it called? CES one year, this like kit to build a little robot that could recognize voice commands that you threw at it, and it was accessing like their database, of course, and you would pay for this service to like have access to this like voice command recognition like thing that they had, and it was fairly easy to like customize and use in your own stuff. And I played around with it, but the fact of the matter is that you were sort of stuck using and paying for their like mother brain for the voice recognition. And I'm sure there's other stuff out now that I could use that's like open source and like more available, but it's again another thing on the list of like a million things that I need to address eventually. And at the end of the day, I want to draw again. I miss drawing. Okay. I'm missing a part. How does that even happen? I'm missing the mate to this piece. It is down. Anger. Okay. I'll just do the other side. Not a big deal. Maybe it'll magically turn up or something. So Mark is out getting fixings for... Okay, so this is the mirror. What was that? He's getting Loco Moco fixings. Oh god. So these go this way. This looks like the mirror of that, right? I'd say so. Yes. Okay. Oh god. I have no idea what I was just talking about. I didn't eat. One of my like deals with myself, like before I kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a while, was to actually eat a meal before I started streaming. And I was doing real good with that. But I did not eat today. Because every time I've said Loco Moco, my stomach's lurched. I'm like real hungry right now. We have Sarah noodles in the refrigerator right now, which is this like, if you're like me and you get vinegar cravings, it's the sort of thing that would quell that. It's a cold noodle salad that I make in the summer that has like a metric fuck ton of cheese and vinegar and like Italian dressing in it. And it's total comfort food for like hot days. And I don't know what it is about the summer that makes me crave like tart, vinegary, astringent things, but it's like total pleasure food for me this time of year. I might go steal some of that eventually. Eventually. Okay. Hi, Ishikani Zone. I do have to fuel the meat. You are correct, Nikuman. I'm on a calorie diet? That's not fun. Who diets? I'm kidding. Everyone diets. No one I know diets. Ara watches porn on their phone. I don't know. I think he's not dieting. That doesn't count. He's working out again, but he's not dieting. I don't think any of my friends have ever actually dieted before. Like we're weird like that. Not in like the strict calorie counting way, at least. Like I know like we try to cut like very specific like unhealthy things out of our diets, which I guess is kind of dieting, sort of. But like I know we'll go through phases where it's like I need to eat more fruit, or I need to eat more fiber, or I need to eat less bread, or carbs in general. We'll do that for a while, but not to the extent of like preparing meals ahead of time or anything like that, or counting calories, or any of the responsible things that probably yield better results. Oh god. No. Yes. I can do the shapes. For Noodle's lipstick, how about a nice ramen beige? Noodle says that is a really good idea. Ramen beige. Noodle's lipstick color. Like a brown lipstick for like a kiss coming from a robot is kind of a disgusting idea. Like, can you imagine if you let a robot sit in your lap and then somebody picked it up and took it away and you looked down and there are just sort of these like brown donuts or smears? You'd be very concerned. I would be concerned. I know to be concerned. So long as robots sit in laps and leave stains, everyone should be concerned. Cheese and bacon diet? That's the diet I'm on, Mr. Bong's Lab. I eat cheese every day. It's the one thing that I indulge in. We do summer sausage here too, so instead of bacon, like I eat cheese, like some sort of artisan cheese, and then a summer sausage log, which Mark gets in like abundance this time of year. So every time we get in the kiddie pool, which we haven't done it this year, but in the past we have, like I'll make up one of those charcuterie plates. That's one of those really swanky uppity words that are, it's always fun to use. Charcuterie. Like, does anyone else make charcuteries? Like a plate with a bunch of cheese and meat specifically, like a variety, because in the summer we do that as like an appetizer sort of thing, or a snack plate, I guess, to kind of keep us fueled and less hangry. Ramen textured foot pads. Ooh. He'll leave a brown stain on you if he doesn't like you. There are a couple people Noodle does not like. True story. I don't want to name names, but some people have crossed Noodle in the past, and he has a list. Which no one wants to be on Noodle's list. The list of a prepubescent robot child. Hard ramen. Hard ramen textured feet pads. He's getting feet pads though, by the way. That's a list thing on the Noodle list for the summer, is he's getting more silicone like feet circles, and oh god. His feet frames are gonna be skinned with this Noodle skin texture. It's actually pool noodle, like the same whatever the fuck pool noodles are made out of, that like foam stuff. But it's like a packing envelope that I have a ton of these, so I'm going to turn these into like foot skin. It's like a burrito or a sushi. It's like a thin noodle layer. So he'll still have noodle textured feet even when they're mechanized. And I'm gonna have hopefully at least a couple of like indicator LEDs inside of here on the boards so that you can see that through the noodle skin. And I'm hoping to find this in a little bit like thicker quality from like Uline, because this is definitely going to replace Noodle's like solid noodle feet that he's currently sporting in the near future. And like I want him to like still like be reminiscent of Noodle feet even when he doesn't technically have Noodle feet anymore, which is a day that is coming. It's like a weird day in your life when you outgrow your namesake. Vi, we do need to do sushi again. Sushi sounds delicious. My stomach just lurched again. Oh my god. We have this really special sushi restaurant here where we go with friends so that we can hurt ourselves with food. Because all-you-can-eat sushi is a thing in Las Vegas. Like, every sushi restaurant has an all-you-can-eat special that is like, it's like $30 a person, but you can literally order anything you want and as much of it as you can put in your face. And we'll go there, we'll ascend on like a sushi place, our sushi place, and we'll just eat until we want to die, and then we'll leave. And they have all-you-can-drink sake too, which is the dangerous part. Noodle boots. Noodle's got noodle boots. Noodle. Oh! I want to see... Noodle wants socks always. It's like panels made of lasagna. Yes. They're like spring rolls, but for feet. We should have a sock jam where we all make socks for Noodle, which he can then judge. I like this idea. Like, I want to kind of do that at DefCon this year. Like, NoodleCon should be, like, in the food court again, of course, because NoodleCon will always be in the food court at DefCon. And I want to take up, like, a bunch of tables like I did last year, but instead of encouraging people to make electronics out of raw noodle pasta, I want to encourage everybody to take, like, crocheting needles and knit socks for Noodle so that he can judge how good or bad they are. And see if I can get a bunch of, like, hacker people knitting in the food court. Because nothing would make me happier than to, like, engineer a knitting session during DefCon. I can't knit, by the way. Like, I don't know how to knit or crochet. So that would add to the irony of the situation. Okay. So I've got these 4 done. I've got these 4 done. Well, these 3, because I'm missing the mate to this. How the hell did that happen? Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side of the lab real quick and see if it fell on the floor, because that's a possibility. So I'll be right back. Because I refuse to believe that I just forgot to print a mate to this. Although it's possible. I'll be right back. Noodle, are you hiding a piece? I don't see it. It must not exist. Okay. Well, that part's not getting done yet. And that's okay. What else is next? Oh yeah. These guys are getting mounted onto the things that I just put together. Oh god. I need a larger workspace. It's on camera. Okay. This is getting chaotic. I don't know. I don't know where that went. Oh well. Okay. The motors can now go in their proper motor channel and get bolted in place relative to the this thing. And then I guess these can go on to the gear. Okay. Do 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 do. The leg circle? The only thing the internet taught me to do well is to search the internet for solutions. The internet. I don't know how I feel about the internet. I think the internet is like the same age as I am, which is weird. So my adult life has evolved along with social media, the internet, and cell phones, which feels very strange and post-human-y. Okay. 8 mini pneumatic assemblies all at once. So the other thing I'm gonna stream probably, like, tomorrow, is, I have all those suckers, right? You know, the things actually, like, making contact with the skin. And those need those little LED calamari boards embedded in them, and those boards need wire harnesses, and I need to test the LEDs once I wire them up and then embed them in the suckers. And then the suckers need to go inside of the lattice that straps around the throat. So tomorrow might be like the actual choker assembly day, because this is like the pneumatic backpack assembly day. But that's going to involve Mark soldering the RGB LEDs onto the calamari boards for me, because they're really fucking small, and he's really good at doing like SMT, because like using the microscope for him is second nature. Like whenever I use a microscope, like it's like I'm like a cave person trying to like figure out how a toilet paper roll works or something. Like I have a hard time with it, and I don't see very well to begin with, so I appreciate that he can do the tiny soldering for me, because if I were in the position where I had to do the amount of tiny soldering that I need for stuff, it would probably take me 5 times as long, and I would be a sad raptor. Such as it is. What the fuck time is it? Oh, it's only 1. I've got the whole day. That's not the correct size. Okay, these go away because they will confuse me. I'm sad that Splatfest ended. That was like the other thing from the past 2 years that sort of defined this era of my life. Like, I play a lot of Splatoon at night. It's like one of my favorite, like, games to play while drinking alone. Not that I drink alone, but like if it's a nighttime and I was just out having drinks with people and then alone with a buzz, or coming down from a buzz, I like to do competitive matches on Splatoon. I don't know if that sounds weird or not. We all have those games, right? It's trippy. Yes, it is weird that people are growing up completely immersed in social media. I agree. It blows my mind, kind of. Oh, the leg circumference. I'm sorry, Mikumen. The leg circumference. I'm not sure what the circumference is, but his legs are 3 inches in diameter, which is, if you're not from the US, that means nothing. It's 7.62 centimeters is the diameter of his feet. I don't know what the circumference is. I'd have to get a string or something, measuring tape. Internet has taught me to do many things badly. I read that already. Mark's making a really cool game right now. He's happy because I've more or less left him alone this summer. I haven't kind of recruited him for help, like support help preparing stuff. So he's been coding. It's basically like SimCity, the old version of SimCity, but you're building a base on Mars and kind of setting up shop on another planet. And he's doing the whole thing from scratch, like everything. Like the graphics and the code and the infrastructure and the engine is all like his. And it looks awesome. Like, I'm really amazed with what he's done, like in the past couple of months. So I've been kind of trying to like just leave him alone so that he can make progress on that, because it's turning out great and he should be working on his stuff, right? I think like last year, he helped me out a lot doing the TensorFlow stuff. But he definitely needs a break from, like, things that Sarah and Noodle like, or would like. Oh, my tummy's angry. It's like, Sarah, you're burning calories, you need to put food in your face. $38 centimeters? Wouldn't be millimeters. Millimeters are tiny. Oh, 38 millimeters times pi. Okay. Oh god. I just saw math and my heart blood pressure spiked. I think it's funny. Me and Noodle's Shape Daddy are both like mechanical engineer type people, but neither one of us like math at all. Which engineering shapes is definitely one of those things where math is typically required, but not for this raptor. KSP? What is KSP? It's KSP. I don't know what that is. It's a concept, but it's multiplayer, but you don't have to do proper inner. I like the multiplayer in Splatoon. It's actually pretty good. Like, I like Salmon Run more than their main game mode, which is like it's like a firefight style where it's a group of people versus waves of mobs that are the computer. And I prefer to play that these days. Giant sock. Do programming, but I can't do art at all. I can't do programming at all. I'm the opposite. Oh, Kerbals, that's right. KSP is Kerbal Space Program. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've got that. Like, when I got back from my residency at ESA, I got Kerbal because I was all motivated to learn orbital mechanics. Of course. Actually, like, one of the engineers I met there, like, he was showing me all of his, like, game stuff that he had saved, and I was very impressed with it, and I was like, I think I can play this game. And, like, me and Tony, Noodle's shape daddy, sat down and tried to figure out how to get something into space, or land something on the Mun, and we never did it. I think we screwed around with it for, like, 2 weeks, like, 2 summers ago, and it never happened, and then I gave up and realized that it's not a game for raptors. Or at least not this raptor. I do like the Kerblings though, the little yellow dudes. They are adorable. Orbital mechanics. Oh god, 2,500 hours? No shit. Wow. I mean, I've played the games that I personally like quite a bit too, so it does get complicated. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. Be an authority on all things involving pie because I have a pie tattoo that wraps around my... You're the pie authority, Vi? I'm not a pie authority. I have to like look up what the numbers of pi are every time I use it. So I'm like the opposite of you. I need it tattooed on my arm because I forget every single time. But and then again, I'm like afraid of all numbers. Damn. Oh no, you play Factorio too, Vi? Tony's playing, like, he... Kind of like around the time that I kind of disappeared for a while, he started playing Factorio. I started playing ESO. And we both sort of checked out and played these games for a while. Which I think you're entitled to do for a period of time during the summer. But I know we both got super entrenched in them. And he logged like some inordinate amount of hours on Factorio, and he shows me the game, but like I don't get it. It's just, it looks like SimCity, but like terrifying and inhuman. But I'm sure if I played it, I would probably enjoy it, and it'd be another thing that I would get hooked on super fast. Matt keeps meaning to introduce me to Baba Is You. Like, he's brought it up quite a few times, and Matt's sort of the person in our group who's responsible for introducing everybody to new games. Like, he is a hardcore gamer. I would call him a hardcore gamer. That's sort of his circle. Like, he's not really a hardware person at all, really. But he does do the gaming, and he does bring the good games to the table and culture us, like, soft gamers. I guess I'd call myself a light gamer. Like, I'm the type of person who finds one game that they really like and then I obsess over it, and that's it for, like, months. Like, I'm enjoying playing, like, ESO right now because it's an MMO where I'm basically in Lord of the Rings land, but you can play as a dinosaur. You can be an Argonian, right? Like, Elder Scrolls has that, like, raptor race, and you can actually be a raptor wizard if you want, and I can fulfill my raptor fantasies in like Lord of the Rings land, and it's like, it's I guess, quenching some weird fantasy I never knew I had. Plus, I just like doing PvP. Like, when I was younger, I used to play WoW, and I was a PvP person. I enjoyed fighting other people. Like, I definitely have a competitive side in me when it comes to games, and I've played everything from 2D fighters to RTS, like StarCraft type games. I did PvP in WoW. Anything where I have to fight a person face to face, or head to head, toe to toe, whatever. I get really into it. This is lots of scrolling. Factorio. Mathos. Just catching up on chat real quick. Okay, good. Alright, Vaya's endorsing Baba Is You too. I need to do it. Like, he brought that up, like, at the beginning of spring, and then I just never got it, and I think it came up in conversation, like, literally, like, maybe 4 days ago. Matt was like, you need to play this game. He's like, I will come over on a day and introduce you to it. Oh, hi. Hi, you in Iceland. I wish I was there. Our election season is starting now. So anywhere other than the US sounds great right now. We watched the primaries 2 days this week, the Democratic primaries, which I think was Wednesday and Tuesday. And it was like mind-numbing. And I'm trying to prepare myself mentally for the shit show that's coming next year, because it's only going to get worse from here. I remember 4 years ago when I was like 29, going on 4 years ago, 3 years ago when I was 29, going to our hackerspace with Matt and Mark in the car and listening to the bad lip reading of the primaries back before Trump got elected, and everything was haha fun and games, and then shit got real. And now, like, our attitude going into election season is completely fucking different than it was before. And it's gonna get interesting. Oh, you guys are all playing games. I'm jealous. Yes, Kia, Argonians do have lizard tits. I'm an Argonian. I'm an Argonian stabby slash raptor with a bow, and I shoot people in PvP, and it's super fun. I'm a sneaky thief. Oh. It takes me 40 minutes to beat 3 hours. On Baba Is You. Jesus. 40 minutes to 3 hours. That sounds like a hell of a puzzle game. You're back already? Oh, thank you.
Got your syringes and your...
Thank you. Yay. My stuff is here. I can finish these. I can actually properly finish these today. Yeah. You just got Trump Light. Yeah, you got the Boris. Right? That's his name? It's the guy with the bowl cut. Like, it's like our leaders are competing for, like, the best worst hair.
They're no longer called... They're no longer called bomb pops.
What are they called?
They're called terrorism treats.
Wait, what? What?
Terrorism. I call them terrorism treats because they're not, you know, you can't say bomb anymore.
Rocket. It's rocket pop, Mark.
Well, rocket. I thought they were called bomb pops.
Rocket pop.
There is a thing. No, when I was a kid, they were called bomb pops.
Rocket pop.
We called them bomb pops.
Terrorism treats?
Terrorism treats. It's terror in your mouth. The most delicious kind.
This is the best part of summer for me, is sitting in the pool and sucking on these. Yeah?
Yes. Let's put those in the freezer so that they're not a puddle.
Ooh, I can wear these in the pool.
You can wear
There's
those.
cutouts. I can give Noodle a cutout mustache that's blonde.
You can carry that in your bikini. Anyways.
I don't wear a bikini. Wink.
There's still a handle for you. Anyways.
Ooh. Yeah, Boris. Lizard tits. I have to like turn off censoring. It's annoying. Just for the one party. We just got, yeah. Fuel for the meat. Has a bumbling buffoon. We all have bumbling buffoons. Mark is old. Aw. Mark is old. Mark is like significantly more experienced than us young puppins that come and sit in the pool with our young meat. But yeah, I don't remember them ever being called rocket pop or bomb pops. I don't know. Now I'm like questioning like what I thought I remembered. Machiavellian fascist in a clown suit. Fun. I haven't been keeping up on that. I see like the memes of him, the ones that like call him the Boris, like he's some sort of wild animal and like a David Attenborough like film on the Animal Planet channel or whatever. He's like a wild beast or something. That's the gist of it. And I don't know anything about him other than that, and that his hair is like very special. Shibon pops. That the water is disinfected? Yes. It's like bleach. Sin soup? It's like 3 dudes and then Sarah, like, usually being... We don't really eat. No, we don't really eat anything in the pool. It's very bleached. It's like... It's treated and filtered and heated and stored under a fitted tarp, so the water's very clean. And the only thing we do in there is like drink cocktails or beer, and that's it. It's clean. And nothing lewd happens in it, so that's a disappointment, I'm sure. But no, we're very civilized in that pool. What was I doing? That's right, assembling stuff. Get back to work, Sarah. Stop chatting. No, I do not wear a bikini top though, because bikini tops suck. But my raptor titties do not shock anybody. It's amazing how much colder being in a pool is when you have a damp piece of fabric strapped to your chest. Right, Mark?
Wait, what?
A bikini top.
A bikini top?
Yeah, that makes you cold.
Does it? Oh yeah, because it's a cooling piece of fabric.
Yeah.
So you should just take it off.
Because I guess...
Just get some band-aids for the good part.
No band-aids.
Okay,
The titties are free. They get to bob. Bob in the water freely, like buoys. Raptor titties. We're always on Mark's lawn. Trump's mini-me. Okay. That's pretty descriptive. You're not the boss of me, Mark. Noodle. Noodle's a flotation device. He wants to get in the pool, but nobody will let him. He even has these like floaty feet things that Mark got from work. So they're like throwing away these camera lens bags. They're like inflatable storage sleeves that happen to be the exact size of Noodle's feet. So he has like flotation devices for his flotation device feet. And we still won't let him in the pool. Noodle, you can't swim. You can't go swimming. One of my new friends in Linz at the ARS festival, she was responsible for writing the description of like the Noodle project that was on the plaque next to him. And it was translated into German. And she created a word to describe like Noodle's leg material, and it was a Schwimmnudel for me, and that made like my entire trip was the fact that this word was created to like help Noodle, like describe Noodle as an entity in the world. Schwimmnudel formig. It's like this, the form of the swim noodle, right? It's like how that roughly translates. It made me very happy. So that's like Noodle's, one of his many nicknames in this house is the Schwimmnudel. But he doesn't get to swim. No swimming for the baby. He needs water wings on top of his flotation feet. Oh wow, I'm really bad. I keep dragging this off camera, I apologize. Just these. Alright, so just to show you where I'm at. I've got pretty much all of them done now, except for the one that is missing that elusive part that literally vanished in my lab into the abyss. Schwimmnudelformig. Thank you for getting me rocket pops, Mark. I love you. I love you. I love you. Cool, in like a minute I get to rip open these boxes next to me and dig out the syringes. I can't wait for the travel case to come. Because you know I'm gonna decorate the shit out of that thing. Because that's like Noodle's spaceship. Matt called it a coffin this week. And it made me very sad. Because Matt's a jerk like that. I was like, Matt, I got Noodle a proper pelican case for traveling abroad. And he's like, oh yeah, you got him a coffin? Pancakes. I'm like, so now I get to feel guilty because I'm putting my child literally in this case as if it were a coffin. And sending him away. It's this travel coffin. Waterproof Noodle? Eventually. A big old carton of assorted M hardware. Ooh. If he spreads his legs wide enough, he should be able to float. He's like, yeah, like one of those water bugs, those water striders. Yeah, his head's still too heavy for him to do that. He would topple over and be a bad buoy. Huh? Yeah. No, I usually don't wear the top, but everybody that comes to this house is not bashful or weirded out by that. Plus it's just me and I'm like not a person. I didn't mean that. Of course I'm a person. Okay. Ow. Ow. Fuck. Okay, I gotta... Yay. That smells weird. Okay, syringes. This is a 10-pack of fading precision applicator creative hobby syringes with orange tips. And I'm gonna pop this bad boy open. And commence with the second part of this assembly. Where can I put these? There, now you can see them. There, here's the applicator tips. They're orange, which I like. I'm happy that it wasn't some other color. They're like this really nice, satisfying, tasty sherbet. And then these are the syringes, and these are the things that get captured. There's like a little groove right here in this rack. Plunger goes there, kind of like that. And then there's this capture piece that I have a pile of, and of course they're off camera, aren't they? Yes, they are. Damn it. Okay, there are these things. Those get bolted on, oh god, over the plunger, like that, so that it's held on in a relative way, and then this whole assembly slides into that hole right there, right here. Here, let me put one together and then I can show you more gracefully. Okay. And I believe I used, I think there are 8s for this. God, such a small work area. Should be good. One ton of washers. Do. Okay, and I believe there was no specific order of operation for these. They just go on. And the nut is countersunk in there. Or my fingers pressing down. That should be long enough. Yeah, it should be good. Okay. And then these ones are like, need to be jammed way, way up in there. Right, Mark? Way, way up in there. Anyone else looking forward to Rick and Morty whenever it becomes a thing again? I know I am. Such intelligent, meaningful writing. Oh, that needs to be longer. That was one of the agreements with the pool accord, is that no one was allowed to pick any like show episodes. Has to be movies. So that's like one of the few stipulations on the double feature night, is you have to pick full-length feature movie dues. Alright, there's one of these things. I'm hoping that my table just coughs up the mate for this, like, miraculously at some point. Oh, it looks like it's not gonna happen. One. Okay. Travel coffin. The goth phase. Wubba lubba dub dub. Noodle says... Noodle had a goth phase. It would be the most adorable goth phase ever. Right, Mark?
What?
Noodle had a goth phase.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't he be the most adorable? Emo Noodle? I should show him mommy's goth phase pictures from high school.
You should get him black anodized metal and then
Aww.
we'll find black foam.
We do have black foam, remember?
You can have that little hair throw over his eyes.
No, they have to be wires.
You can use a piece of,
black wires.
You can use a piece of mop. Wires?
Yeah.
You can do silicone wire that's floppy. When it turns, it like flips back and forth.
Yes.
And you have to continually just flip it.
Noodle
like
needs...
our friend Dan does.
Yes. We need the black foam that you buried in the backyard.
Yes.
Or the garage. Noodle. Nuts out, Mark.
Nuts out?
Nuts out.
That's crazy.
Don't be crazy. You're crazy. Johnny Pneumatic. Johnny Pneumatic.
That's Noodle's
Noodle.
stage name.
Noodle. That was Mark's choice last week, but then we couldn't find it.
Yeah, we couldn't find it.
That's the other thing is, just because you pick a certain movie doesn't mean that any of the movie streaming services are going to necessarily provide it.
$4 or something?
Yeah, but you did Casablanca instead.
Yeah, so it was like one. I try not to do two back-to-back $4 Amazon movies. So
yeah.
One's got to be free and one's got to be.
Or one can be.
Yeah, so I'll pay for one, but what was the other movie? It was Virtual Assassin, and it's another cyberpunk movie from the 90s.
Oh god.
It's horrible.
Please don't subject us to that.
But the main star from it is the guy from Blade Runner that was being interviewed and shot the guy at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
When he was being white comped.
Yes.
So he was one of the replicants, but the one that wasn't so smart.
What's it called again?
Virtual Assassin, but it also was released as under the title Cyberjacked. But if you look on Amazon Prime,
Cyberjack.
Yeah, so if you look on Amazon Prime, it's been renamed to Virtual Assassin. It's free for streaming right now on Prime.
I wrote that.
So check it out. But it looks like I watched the trailer and I was like, these are the worst special effects I think I've ever seen.
Cyberjacked.
So, but it's trying to be Blade Runner, which is awesome. So I need to watch it.
Mark had us watch
I never
this.
even knew about it.
He had us watch this movie called Hardware.
Yeah, it's in that category.
It was like real bad. Like that was Matt fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah, there's like a few what do they call them? Just in that era after Blade Runner, people were trying to make the next Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And they never had the budget to pull it off, right? Or the chops like Ridley Scott had, right? So they were just bad productions. They weren't bad stories per se. It was just overall the whole thing was a shit show by the time it was done. But Hardware. There's another movie, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was called something like.
I should make you guys watch.
What was the name of that?
I should make you guys watch Labyrinth and Dark Crystal.
Yeah. Oh, I retweeted a thing that had somebody did stickers for DefCon of your noodle sign.
What noodle sign?
Not your noodle sign, but the noodle sign from Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
He did a sticker. I retweeted it too.
That was Jeff. Didn't he do that?
No, well maybe Jeff did too, but I retweeted it on that guy's post. But you need to track that guy down at DefCon and get a sticker from him.
Noodle, do you want a noodle sticker? Noodle says, "Is mommy going to papoose him?"
It says it's the full sign. It says Dragon Noodles.
Yes.
With the Chinese next to it.
Yes.
So It's kind of like, but yeah, Noodle needs a sticker for his
Dragon Noodles
laptop or something. So yeah, this other movie that I was thinking about is was in the vein of the Hardware, and it was I can't remember the name for the name of it, but it featured a character whose name was Connector Head.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the makeup for the guy's skull, covered his head. So he's bald, but he had every type of connector on his skull.
Mm-hmm.
And that character was like he could connect two things together and then process the data through his brain.
Bod.
So and I would like to find that movie again because it was in the same. It wasn't a great sci-fi, but it was definitely in the cyberpunk realm of, being able to plug things into your head and like process it.
There was this character in the Archer episode we watched last night named Mr. Deadly. And he was the best part of the episode. I think the season so far.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
It was good. Mr. Deadly.
Wait, I'm going to leave the conversation for
You don't want to talk about Connector Head?
No, I need to go set my printer up to print an overnight print.
Which one?
My giant printer.
Okay, because I'm still using
Yeah,
the...
I'm just going to take the order.
Noodle says mommy's working awfully hard just to get a bunch of hickeys. Oh, the thing I didn't mention, and this is probably important and worth mentioning, in my video about this thing that I'm making right now, I mentioned that the thing that's supposed to control the sucking is my breath. And the way that I'm controlling it with my breath is using a air pressure sensor, which somebody suggested on Twitter, and I don't remember who, but we got one and Mark was able to get it working, and he wired it up with some really fine magnet wire because it's really fucking small, and it's like the chip is directly wired to, actually no it's not, we had a little board made. We spun a tiny little board from Osh Park that is like literally like 3 millimeters or 5 millimeters. It's like this big. It's really, really, really small. And I have to make a rig that's going to hold that next to my nose hole, like firmly, or adhere to my cheek and then hold it right under my nose so that when I breathe in and out, that's the thing that one-to-one maps to the syringes sucking in or out. So they're going to be kind of like hickey giving like gill sacs that create feedback loopage. So I can actually document that part coming up here soon and show the whole system being like a complete thing at last, because I think when I posted the video about this initially, that part wasn't working yet. It was literally just the sucking, but it was being just controlled with a microcontroller. Pizza. Johnny Pneumatic. Over there. More. Noodle says bullshit. Matt's the uncle that teaches Noodle to say bad words. He's very vocal when he plays video games. And I'm always like, Noodle's gonna hear you. And he's like, oh, Noodle's gonna learn some shit. And I'm like, poor Noodle. Noodle has heard everything in this house. He lives with a bunch of bad people. He has 2 daddies, an uncle, and then his crazy grandmother, which is my mom, who steals his mommy away for margaritas on Mondays. But she brings him socks, so he says that it's okay. It's funny that you say that, Kia. Kia mentioned just making some sort of device that measured my chest expanding and not expanding. that was the first thing that I tried, and it didn't work very well. Although the thing that we used probably might not have been the best option for creating something that senses like force or bending. But that was the first option. It seemed like it was the low-hanging fruit. And then somebody suggested it on Twitter, but then one of my friends that I know in real life sent me the link to a chip, and then we just got that chip and then tried it. So that was like the second thing we figured we'd give a shot at, and it seems to be working already, like right out of the chute. We have to calibrate it, I guess, like hone in like what portion of the signal is the important part, and then filter the rest out. And then I need to make the rig for head holding, as I mentioned. Anyhow, I'm gonna lose my voice. What is it? It's 2 o'clock. Come on. It's disobeying me. But why? Why are you being a pain? Don't mind me, I'm just reaming out a hole. For Noodle's automation when roaming, to be perfectly honest, I have no idea yet. Like, getting him to just walk decently has been such a not easy thing to solve. I don't even really know what is going to be his, like, inspiration for walking in one direction versus another. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Like, I'm kind of hoping that he'll decide that, but I don't know what his decision is going to be based on exactly, or what multiple factors will come together to determine where Noodle feels like going at any given time. I'm hoping that after I get this new body built, the walking thing is trivial because we've already kind of figured out his gait. And we already kind of know, we know a lot, like we learned a lot this spring. I say it might be easy, it's probably going to be terribly hard. It's going to be terribly hard. Mark, what? Noodle says, ah. He says, huh? You're watching the tasting channel. Up next, hide and go beep, followed by I've been making my friends do bumpers for me again for the tasting channel. I say make them. They like it, right, Mark? Matt kind of. Yeah. Matt has like one of those really great radio voices, but he thinks he sounds terrible, and he doesn't ever want to do anything anymore, which breaks my heart because he sounds fantastic always. He has like a very like, I don't know what the hell would you call it?
He's got like that morning radio guy sound.
Very charismatic,
Yeah, he can be
energetic
creepy,
voice.
He says funny. He makes funny stuff on the fly.
He's got a good personality.
Lots of confidence.
Yeah. Matt. So it's between the three of us, right? Because you went last week, right?
What?
You picked last week?
Yeah, I was last week, so it's kind of you.
Okay.
You and Matt.
And Tony.
Oh, is Tony back in there?
Yeah, he was just that one round.
Tony's like watching the stream right now. He isn't really.
No, he's not.
Probably at work, yeah. So, I was like, you just outed him, but.
I just outed him. Matt. No one cares. Teach Noodle to sing. He sings with his juicer. He sings with his juice voice, which is Noodle's proper voice. Supplement to his beeper. Yes. Mr. Bong mentioned the e-cigarettes have those air pressure sensors in them. I think we got the exact same one. It's the same chip that's in those, and it will work hopefully the same way. And as well, I'm hoping, I hope. Hopefully. Noodle! He says mommy's a freak. Yeah? Noodle's daddy's. Noodle bone. Noodle butter. Would you eat noodle butter?
The Noodle watches toes before he started the progress.
He says it came from Ox Milk Ranch.
That sounds fun.
In my game that I'm making, that I haven't worked on since like January, the first thing that you encounter in the game is Noodle selling white liquid in like mason jars at like a lemonade stand type setup.
People what?
Like literally, like I have it animated and everything. It's like sprite art, and like the first thing you encounter is Noodle, and he's standing next to a little red cart, and he has all these mason jars filled with juice, and you get the prompt to either buy his juice or ignore the robot. That's the first thing. That's the only thing in the game so far. Would you buy butter from Noodle? That's what I want to know. Or would you buy butter from a robot? Like,
No.
not butter made by a robot, but butter from a robot. Like, if you encountered a robot in the wild and it was selling butter, would you buy that robot's butter? Questions you'll only hear on Robohemian. Mark, would you buy the robot butter?
I might buy it, but it's probably gonna get kept for maybe one day and then quietly disposed of.
So you would do it to make the robot feel good, but
Yes.
you wouldn't trust the robot's
No.
butter?
No.
Why?
It's just like that time my friend visited like Ecuador or something and he brought yak jerky back and gave me a bag of yak jerky. And I accepted it with, you know, all the respect. You would accept a gift. And it sat on the counter for 2 days, and then it was like, I'm not eating yak jerky. So it went
quietly into the trash cans.
You threw away the yak jerky.
Yeah, I wasn't even tempted to try it. I was like, thank you so much. That's awesome of you. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip, Noodle. So, you know.
You wouldn't eat his butter?
Nope.
No one would eat robot
No, I
butter.
think people on Ox Ranch, especially.
Well, I mean, no, like just not an Ox Ranch. Like a normal ass like grocery store.
What? No.
Everyone says they would have eaten the jerky.
Who does?
Kia said they would have eaten the jerky.
Okay. Kia can have all of the yak jerky next time.
You get the yak jerky next time.
I'll mail it to Kia.
Noodle butter? Noodle butter is high in taste. Flavonoids? Is that a word?
Noodleoids.
Flavonoid, that sounds like a word. Yes, Sarah. That is a word. Noodle. Flavonoids. Noodle. Fuck. It's bad. Noodle. Bad noodle. Mommy's a lusty Argonian maiden. M3 nut butter. Yes, Dave. Would you eat the M3 nut butter? There's the voice of sense. Oromi says they would never eat anything given to them by a stranger. What if you had to buy it from the stranger? The strange robot. Mr. Deadly. Noodle. He's annoyed with the fact that it's unlikely he will be going to ARS in his new form. He says he wants to strut his nut.
Strut the nut?
Yes. He says he wants everybody to admire his sexy new form. Noodle, when you can walk through Lynn's on your own, Mommy will take you back. And then everybody can love your body. And they'll buy your butter. I'll be like, everybody needs to buy Noodle's butter. And he'll be like,
It's like those candy bars for the parents sell for their kids.
Yes. Yes. I'll be like, buy the Noodle butter.
You could just cut out the middleman and give the sport team some money.
No, you get chocolate that way. Or cookie dough.
Yeah, but the people that do the chocolate or the cookie dough are taking like a big chunk of that money for themselves for overpriced cookie dough or candy bars. So what I'm saying is people should just give money to the sport team and come with it.
Okay. Noodle is a pizza. Do, 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 do. Okay, so now this part that I just made with the syringe and the rack goes on to this part with the motor and the channel, and they mate together like this. Yeah. There's that. Like this. Why doesn't that fit as well? think that is the correct way. Okay. That'll do. Okay. Alright, again, that's, these just slide in. Slides right in, nice and smooth. There, like that. Nice and tight. Holds it in place. Everything's happy. They're looking good. Flavonoids. Noodle says he's 50% flavonoid. Okay. Are these off camera? Yeah, they are. God damn it. Where is this thing actually aimed? They're kind of on camera. There. And one of these is left for the part that has no part. Can hang out alone by itself. Okay. Looking good, Sarah. You're almost done. All you have to do is screw the pinion onto the motor and you're good. Then you can get in the pool and your nips can be out. Nips out.
I'm heating the pool today.
What?
I'm heating the pool today.
How?
I took the extra black tubing and laid it out on the concrete.
Oh.
And I hooked the pump up to that. And so now that the sun is on the concrete, it should start.
Okay, so it will be heated.
The water and yeah, bring it because it was cold. Because the cover failed and came off. So. You're not thing.
I put this one on the wrong way. Shit. Well, we've get guys in T minus 4 hours. Jesus. We've got some time. Ah! Yes, Sarah, just scream at it. Then it will work. That's my parrot's theory. If you scream at it, it will fix everything. Okay. I love that these motors are actually called Feet Tech. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but it's like Noodle invented the company all by himself.
Maybe it's a time traveler.
Noodle's time traveling version of himself made Feet Tech motors so that mommy could use approved devices for her stuff. Feet Tech. Noodle. See, it says right there, Feet Tech. What? What even is reality? Noodle says reality is what you make of it. In the Matrix. If I drew a box, I should do that. I don't know if I would pay attention to it though. Oh. The final rack. All right. Whoa! I did launch that. Okay, that's not good. How come the horns never want to go? There. Okay. But that's not going to be good. Alright. Alright, last step. Do I need the other type of screwing device? No. It's right here. Or do I? They're not long enough. Fair enough. There are 12s of these. Should be good. And butter. Now I'm craving corn. Just corn. No? Oh, come on. These are not M3s. What are you? No? Well, shit. How did I do this before? I hate it when things don't fit in the right hole. It's bad. Okay, go. All right. No. These do not want to go either. I have concerns. They do not appear to be long enough, so what did I do before? Did I use different hardware? And if so, where did I get it from? Interesting. Okay. to do this before. Close enough. Alright, I don't know what hardware I used to tighten these down concerning, but you know, something got used. I just have to figure out what and find out where the hell it came from, because it does not look like the hubs take M3 hardware, which is surprising. I kind of thought they all did. Oh, maybe. Wait. Nope. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. These are not long enough, so it might be some of the hub screws from those elusive bags that I mentioned I have an entire box of from previous servos from other projects. Interesting. Okay. That's okay. I'll do what I can for now. I will need a stopping point here soon because I am starving. Yes, this is a new Lego kit. This is printed in PET. The hard stuff. It's PET G or whatever. Noodle substitutes my reality and imposes his own. I agree. Like, he is my life. Reality tastes like Sarah noodles right now. That sounds like the most best right now, is Sarah noodles. That's what I'm gonna eat very shortly before the guys get here. I'm gonna make a big old bowl of my vinegar noodles. Ow. And, curl up on the couch or something. Okay, so... That's gonna be slow, but that's how it's gonna have to be. That's okay. Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm just like in get it done mode now. Almost there. Why? Some of these hubs are just like, fuck you. There we go. I'm like manually calibrating these, by the way, which is something I forgot to do, so I have to take them apart a little bit to do that. And that's okay. Ah. Why? Don't reason with the pieces. They don't know. Alright, last one, guys. And then I'm probably gonna call it and make myself some food here, because I am totally tapped out. And I gotta print another mate for this so I can actually finish this part up. But that I can't start for another 2.5 hours? Hi, Mark. I can hear you clicking. I can't see you, but I can hear you lurking in my periph. Periph. Hey, baby. Alright, there we go. Alrighty. Why? There we go. Ta-da! That is almost 8 of the assemblies. They're entirely done minus the hub screw, attaching them to the respective motor, but that's more or less what they look like. So this is half of the suck choker. These mount onto these other little feather-like pieces right here. These are kind of like, I don't know, how do I explain this? So these go... that's right. Okay, so these will get mildly disassembled again. So the longer screws will actually fit through both this mounting feather piece and the mounting plate for the motor, and then that piece as a whole will mount onto the thing that holds all of these guys in the correct position, because if you remember, they're kind of at like an offset, rotated, fancy sort of layout. These are the things that are actually being held in that actual position, and then these assemblies mount onto these feathers. That's how that works. So these are mostly done. They're gonna get screwed with a little bit more, but like the important parts together. Yay! My fingers hurt now. And I think some food is in order. So yes, this is the fruit of my afternoon labor right here. Ah. But with that, I'm gonna call this, I think. And thank you for keeping me company while I get back on the wagon horse. What is it? Get back on the wagon or the horse? Opie's not in here anymore. Never mind. I'll be streaming more. I'm gonna get back into it. I'm going to probably, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to stream the assembly of the part that mates to these. That is the suction cups that go on the neck. They're ready to go. I just need to, again, set aside a portion of time where I will sit down here and jam all those parts together, and that will hopefully it'll probably take the same amount of time. It's just going to be a different task, and it might involve some soldering. Some light soldering. That solderotica that Mark is so good at providing. But, until that day, might be tomorrow, might be the day after that. Depends on when I get it ready. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off. Like, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Keep cool. If you're in a place that doesn't have air conditioning, go get yourself some Rocket Pops or something chilly. Make some noodles or something and relax. Enjoy the beginning of the weekend as much as you can. Yeah. But, I'm gonna look at the dip down here real quick. Yeah. I mean, all this can be super improved a lot, but I don't know. For as much time and pieces as I wanted to throw at this is about as good as it's going to get, and it works pretty okay. I'll make improvements in the future if it's necessary, but it's good. They're my little babies. Alright, kids. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. In peace.